Hey guys, Regan57. So today I want to talk about tilt and how we can deal with it. It's something that all players experience. I'm just going to be running through this edit course to hopefully force me to end the video a little bit faster than I have been lately. There's a few things I want to talk about, and it's really not that advanced. This isn't proprietary information. It's something that anybody can do. And you know, it's really something that we all have the tools that we don't really have the tools that we need. We have the resources that we need already, though, to manage this. And it's something that we do on a daily basis in real life, where we're able to kind of let things go. And it seems like it's way easier said than done, but I'm going to break it down a little bit. So there's a few ways to really stop tilting. Actually, no. Let me take a step back here. There aren't a few ways. There's a way to do it. There's just a few steps. So those steps start with A, which is the awareness of your emotional reaction to things, or your emotional response. I have a sticky note here at the bottom of my monitor, and what it says is condition the emotional response, and then underneath it, it says remain teachable. So what do I mean by become aware of our emotional reaction? Well, it's really exactly what it sounds like. As soon as we feel ourselves getting frustrated, angry, resentful, whatever emotion you want to call it, a negative emotion, what we need to do as responsible adults is become aware that this emotion and this chemical reaction is taking place in our brain where we feel the need to be angry. And that's really it. That's A. That's letter A. We have to become aware. And just being aware isn't going to fix the problem in itself, so that's where B comes in. Let me just look down really quick while I'm doing this. Okay, yes. So what I have for B is we need to divert the blame from outside forces and reasons and revert that blame onto ourselves. So typically what we want to do whenever something goes wrong is blame our circumstance and our environment. That's just human nature. We want to totally avoid any sort of crippling reality that we are at fault in a situation. So, well, how do we do that? Well, really, number one, we have to be in this self-aware state of mind where we are recognizing this emotional condition that we're having, which is anger, or as we like to call it, tilt. You know, a few years ago, probably 10 years ago, people would call it nerd rage. People would get so pissed, they'd break their keyboard and throw shit, yell at their parents or whatever, yell at their friends, and just go into this freaking mode, and it's tilt, you know? That's what it is. Anyway, that was a bit of a side note. So, what do we have so far? Well, we have awareness of our emotional reaction. We have diverting that blame is something that we always do. We always want to divert the blame away from ourselves. So we're going to try and reel that back in and revert it to ourselves and see where we made mistakes. And now the third part, which is very important, this is so important. Letter C, build habit by moving on and letting it go. And how do we move on and let it go? We can't just move on and let it go, Regan. You know, it's so much more complicated than that. Well, the easiest way to do that is to try and learn something from the situation. Then we are forced to get out of that emotional state of mind and look at it logically and say, oh, this is something I can do next time. If we can get to that place, you're never going to tilt again. I swear to you, you're never, ever going to tilt again. The moment that we stop expecting an outcome and anticipating an outcome, the less we're going to be disappointed, and the more often we're going to be able to remain in that teachable state of mind. So I'm about done with this edit course. It's actually not too bad in terms of time on this video. So that was we're about 4 minutes here. So let me just wrap things up really quick with some other things I have. So tilting goes hand in hand with self-analysis. And what I mean by that is if we are tilting, we are not self-analyzing, we are not learning. If we are not tilting, most likely we're opening up room in our brain, in our conscious mind, to self-analyze and to possibly learn something. And it doesn't mean it's not like if we don't tilt we're going to learn something, because you can just as easily be like, oh, I fucking died, man, bummer, and then you just move on, you know, and you haven't learned a damn thing. Next thing is, yeah, just talking about that. And you know, the last thing I really want to talk about is this isn't going to happen overnight, man. It's not an immediate change. This is something that requires practice. It is a habit. It may not seem like a habit. It may seem like a visceral reaction that only happens in the moment, but I promise you, if you go through the games and you die, let's say the first game that you try this strategy out, you die and you feel that tilt coming up and you're getting pissed. You're like, why do I suck? Why did I do that? But then realize, oh my goodness, I'm having a chemical reaction in my brain. I'm getting angry, and that's all you have to say. Then you can go back to raging, whatever, as long as you bring to the forefront of your mind, okay, I'm tilting. As long as you're able to recognize that, that's step one. Step two, let's say a few games later, blah, 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 you're going. You feel that emotional state come up, and you nip it in the bud this time because you're getting used to it, and you go, oh, you know what? I was about to tilt right there, but I'm not going to. Let me think about what I can do differently next time. So that is, and honestly, you probably won't be able to make that change right away. So what I recommend you do is you get a pen and paper, and you write down what you can do differently next time. It'll help with the tilting. It really will. To see it on paper and to see it really right there, you can also always go back at the end of your session, read over the things you fucked up and be like, you know what, man, I really did fuck up a lot today, and I'm really excited I got the opportunity to learn something today rather than just get mad. And it really does help. And then number three, eventually we're going to get to a place where we don't even tilt at all. There is no emotional reaction whatsoever to dying. It is just so ingrained in us to not get mad that we immediately are looking for our faults, and we're going, you can actually see it in my VODs. I'll die in a zone wars, or I'll die in a scrim, I'll go, damn, I really shouldn't have done that. I'm going to write that down. I write it down immediately and I move on, and there's no emotional baggage, and I've learned something, and it was a positive experience for both players. So thank you so much for watching. I tried to make this video a little bit shorter and condense it by running this edit course, kind of time myself. I've probably gone to about 6 minutes or so at this point, maybe a little longer. Keep your eyes peeled. I have some really interesting stuff coming out. I want to make content based around the opportunity cost of W keying in tournaments versus turtling and playing for placement. I find that fascinating. So again, thank you so much for all the comments, all the questions, and all the videos. It's so fun to be at work during the day and just kind of read through these and get a second to comment back, and it really does bring me a lot of joy. So one more time, thank you. And I will see you soon, hopefully with some more VOD review from the coaching I'm going to be doing this weekend. We have about 10 coaching participants. I'm really excited to get to work with these guys. They all seem like really passionate and psyched about it, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And make sure you stop by. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do it. It would really mean a lot to me if you checked out the content and got some valuable information. And if you're not getting valuable information, you don't feel like it's good content, please let me know why. I promise I'm not going to take it personally. Thank you so much. I will see you next time.